The twin suns of the rim world burned low across the desert plain. Aaron walked carefully over the cracked ground, the dry wind pushing sand against his boots. He had been on a supply run earlier that morning, and now he was heading back to his ship with a cart full of salvage. He expected silence, yet something caught his attention. A faint sound carried across the wind. It was not the noise of shifting sand or broken metal. It was the voice of someone in pain. Aaron stopped and looked around. The sound grew clearer. It was a hiss followed by a weak cry. He pushed his cart aside and followed the noise. His eyes scanned the barren land until he noticed movement near the wreckage of a patrol drone. The drone had crashed during a skirmish between scavengers and guards only a day ago. Most people avoided the site. Aaron had not expected anyone to remain alive there. Lying beside the broken machine was a figure unlike any he had ever seen. The body was slender, covered in pale silver skin that glimmered faintly under the suns. Long strands of dark hair spilled across the sand. The figure looked almost human, but not quite. The shape of the ears was different, sharp and curved. The eyes, half open, glowed faint blue. Aaron stepped closer. The alien stirred and let out another hiss. With effort, the figure raised a weak hand as if to ward him off. "Stay back," the alien whispered. The voice was rough but carried strength. "Touch me again and I will take your blood." Aaron did not move at once. He studied the stranger carefully. She was hurt, that much was clear. A wound marked her side and her breathing was uneven. The words sounded like a threat, but the tone carried desperation. He crouched slowly, keeping his hands open to show he meant no harm. "You are injured," Aaron said gently. "You will not survive out here if I leave you." The alien's eyes narrowed. She hissed again, but her arm trembled and dropped back to the sand. She was too weak to rise, Aaron thought for a moment. Most people in the settlement would avoid her. They might even turn her over to scavengers for a reward, but leaving her here to die felt wrong. He reached forward and placed a steady hand on her arm. The alien gasped. A faint glow spread from her skin where he touched her. It ran in thin lines, lighting her veins like threads of fire. Her breathing grew steadier. For a brief second, her eyes widened as if she saw something unexpected in him. "I warned you," she whispered. "And I smiled." Aaron answered softly. "You needed help." The glow faded, but her body relaxed. She no longer looked ready to strike. She closed her eyes as though surrendering to exhaustion. Aaron looked around. He knew he could not carry her alone all the way to his ship without risk. The settlement was not far. If anyone saw him with her, questions would follow. Still, he made his choice. He pulled a blanket from his cart, wrapped it around her, and lifted her onto the cart with care. The journey back to his ship was slow. The wheels of the cart rattled on uneven ground. At one point, he noticed two scavengers watching from a ridge. They pointed at him but did not approach. Likely they had seen the glow and wanted no part in it. When Aaron reached the small landing bay, he hurried inside and sealed the doors. He carried the alien to the med bunk aboard his freighter, the Dawnlight. She stirred faintly but did not resist. Her breath was shallow, yet her pulse grew stronger each moment his hand steadied her. Aaron sat beside her, wiping the dust from her skin with a damp cloth. He noticed strange markings along her arms, faint patterns that seemed to shift in the light. They did not look like scars. They looked like living designs, symbols etched into her being. "You are a mystery," Aaron murmured. The ship's door buzzer sounded suddenly. He went to check and found Hannah, the medic who often worked with traders. She was a middle-aged woman with steady eyes and quick hands. "Aaron, I heard you brought something from the wreck field," Hannah said. "What is it this time, old tech or trouble?" Aaron hesitated but stepped aside. "Trouble, maybe. Come see." Hannah followed him into the med bunk. When her eyes fell on the alien, she stopped. For a long moment, she said nothing. "You should not have brought her here," Hannah whispered at last. "Do you know what she is?" "I know she is hurt," Aaron replied. "And I could not leave her out there." Hannah moved closer, studying the wound. "Her kind is rare. I have seen them only in records. They say these beings can sense intent through touch. They can even draw energy when they feel threatened. That is why she warned you. Humans fear them because of it." Aaron looked at the alien's still face. "She did not take from me. She only needed someone to steady her." Hannah gave him a doubtful look but began cleaning the wound with skill. The alien stirred, opening her eyes again. She looked from Hannah to Aaron, then back to Hannah. "You are human," she whispered. "Both of you. Yes, Aaron said gently. My name is Aaron, this is Hana. We mean you no harm. The alien's gaze lingered on his hand. Why did you not fear me? Aaron shrugged. Fear is not the same as reason. You were alone and dying. That mattered more. For a moment, the alien said nothing. Then a faint trace of wonder crossed her features. She whispered a single word. Saru, is that your name? Aaron asked. She gave the smallest nod. Hana looked thoughtful. Her body is not like ours. Normal medicine will not help much. She will heal better through contact. She may need your touch to recover. Aaron frowned. Then I will stay by her side. Through the next hours, Aaron remained close, often resting a hand on Saru's arm or shoulder. Each time the faint glow returned and her breathing grew stronger. She seemed to draw not life itself but calmness from him, as though his intent gave her strength. Outside, the settlement grew restless. Word spread quickly that a human pilot had brought a dangerous stranger into his ship. Some said she was a spy from the stars. Others claimed she was cursed. The scavengers told stories of her glow and hiss. Inside the dawnlight, however, the truth felt different. Saru was no monster. She was frightened, hurt, and uncertain. Yet with every touch, with every soft word, she allowed herself to rest a little longer. As the suns sank below the horizon and the stars filled the sky, Aaron sat by the bunk and watched over her. The choice he had made would change everything, though he did not yet know how deeply. Morning came with the soft glow of the twin suns rising above the dusty horizon. The ship Dawnlight stood quiet in its bay, metal hull shining faintly under the light. Inside, Aaron awoke from a short sleep in the chair beside Saru's bunk. He rubbed his tired eyes and looked at her. Saru still lay wrapped in the blanket, but her breathing was deeper now, steady and calm. The faint blue glow in her veins had dimmed during the night. When Aaron touched her wrist gently, the glow flickered again and her eyelids moved. She opened her strange bright eyes and looked at him. You did not leave, she said softly. I said I would stay, Aaron replied. She studied him for a long moment, then closed her eyes again as if trying to understand. Her face no longer carried the sharp tension it had before. Hana entered the bunk with a tray of water and broth. She placed it on the small table and checked Saru's wound. The healing is faster than I expected, Hana murmured. It must be true that contact helps her kind recover. When you touched her again, I saw the glow return. It is not only a threat, but a way to share life. Saru turned her head and whispered, It is not life we take. It is truth. Through touch, I feel intent. I know if one wishes harm or help. When I warned you, human, I did not wish to frighten. It is our nature to defend ourselves. If I had felt danger, I would have drawn your strength. But you gave calm. That is why I did not, Aaron nodded slowly. Then you can sense who people really are. Yes, Saru said, voice faint. It is why others fear us. No lie can stand against touch. They call it blood-taking because it feels like loss to them. Yet it is only the loss of falsehood. When one is touched by my kind, we see them clearly. Few enjoy such exposure. Hana and Aaron exchanged a glance. This explained why the locals spoke with fear about Saru's kind. Aaron leaned forward. What happened to you, Saru? Why were you alone near the wreck? Saru hesitated. Her eyes grew distant. Images seemed to flicker across her face like shadows of memory. At last she spoke slowly. I traveled with a convoy. We carried something sacred to my people. We were attacked. I do not remember all. I saw fire, metal falling from the sky, and I was torn away from my group. I woke in the sand. Who attacked? Aaron asked, her voice shook. Hunters. They wear no banners but serve a hidden master. They desire what is not theirs. They accused me of betrayal so they could claim the relic. I fled, but my strength failed. Then you found me, Hana frowned. If that is true, they will not stop looking. You may be hunted across this sector. Aaron crossed his arms. Then we cannot let them take her. She deserves safety, not chains. Saru's eyes widened a little at his words. You would risk this for me? You do not know me. Why? Aaron gave a simple answer. Because you were alone. No one deserves to be left to die. That is enough reason. The room fell silent for a while. The soft hum of the ship was the only sound. Later that day, Aaron left to gather supplies in the settlement while Hana stayed to watch Saru. As he walked through the dusty streets, he noticed groups of people whispering. Eyes followed him with suspicion. He knew rumors had spread. 2 men stopped him near the market. Pilot, one said. We hear you brought something strange from the desert. A glowing outsider. You should hand it over to the magistrate. Dangerous things bring danger to all. Aaron kept his calm. She is not a danger. She is wounded. That is all. The men shook their heads. You are blind if you believe that. Her kind brings trouble. If you protect her, you bring it on yourself and the rest of us. Aaron said nothing more and walked on. He had no desire to argue with fear. He gathered food, water, and spare parts quickly, then returned to the ship. Inside, he found Hana sitting by Saru, telling her simple stories about human customs. Saru listened with deep interest, her bright eyes wide. You share meals together each day, Saru said slowly. You gather even when no hunger presses you. Why? Hana smiled. Because eating is not only about hunger, it is about family, about friendship. We share food to share trust. Saru nodded as if the thought pleased her. Strange but warm. When Aaron entered, Saru turned her gaze to him. Your kind values bonds that are not forced. I see it. When you touched me, I felt no command. I felt choice. That is rare. Aaron placed the supplies down. Maybe that is why I wanted to help you. We do not leave people behind. At least I do not. For the first time, Saru's lips curved into something close to a smile. It was faint, uncertain, but real. As the suns dipped low again, trouble came knocking. A message appeared on the comm screen of the dawn light. It was the local magistrate. His stern face filled the screen. Pilot Aaron, he said firmly, it has come to our notice that you shelter a foreign being in your vessel. This is a violation of settlement law. Such creatures must be reported and turned over for questioning. Bring her to the hall tomorrow morning. Refusal will mark you as complicit. The message ended without room for reply. Aaron clenched his fists. Hana looked worried. Saru sat silent, her eyes fixed on the floor. They will not listen to me, she whispered. They will see only a danger. If I touch them, they will fear the truth. If I refuse, they will call me guilty. Either way they win, Aaron thought hard. Then we find another way. We do not hand you over. But if you resist, you become target too, Saru said. Then I accept that, Aaron replied. His voice was steady. Hana touched his shoulder. Aaron, you must think carefully. The magistrate has guards. If they come, they will bring force. Aaron looked at Saru. I made a choice when I lifted you from the desert. I will not turn back now. Whatever comes, we face it together. Saru's eyes glowed brighter for a moment. She reached out slowly and touched his hand. The glow spread between them, stronger than before. A rush of images filled Aaron's mind. He saw flashes of alien cities, tall crystal towers under strange skies. He felt Saru's fear when her convoy was attacked, the chaos of fire and broken ships. He also felt her loneliness, a deep ache that had followed her since she fell into the sand. When the vision faded, Saru whispered, Now you know me. Truly know me. No one has ever chosen such a bond without fear. Aaron squeezed her hand. Now you are not alone. That night none of them slept much. They prepared supplies quietly, knowing the settlement would not forgive easily. Outside, the wind carried whispers of unrest. Inside, trust began to grow between human and alien, fragile but real. Aaron looked once more at Saru before powering down the lights. Tomorrow will be hard, he said, but we will face it as one. Saru closed her eyes, and for the first time since he found her, she slept without fear. The dawn came with a red sky over the desert. The settlement stirred awake as merchants rolled carts into the square, and guards made their rounds. Inside the dawnlight, Aaron stood near the window watching the streets fill with people. He knew whispers about Saru had spread across every corner. By now, the magistrate's order was common talk. Behind him, Hana checked the supplies again. She placed food packs and medical tools into small bags. Her face was calm, but her hands moved quickly. She was preparing for trouble. Saru sat on the edge of the bunk, wrapped in a loose cloak Aaron had found among his old trade clothes. The hood covered her hair and glowing skin. Even with the cloak, she looked out of place. Her eyes followed every move in the room. You should not stay, she said softly. If you let me leave, they will turn their anger on me alone. You will be safe. Aaron shook his head. If I leave you, you will not last. Hunters are already in this sector. The magistrate does not care about justice. He only wants peace in his market, even if it means sacrificing you. I will not allow it, Hana looked up. We need more than words, Aaron. We need allies. If the guards come, 3 of us cannot hold them back. Aaron thought for a moment. Then he said, I know someone who might help. Bex owes me a favor. Saru tilted her head. Who is Bex? A mechanic, Aaron explained. Smart with machines, always looking for ways to bend rules without breaking them. If anyone can hide us or buy us time, it is him. Hana gave a small nod. Then we must move quickly. If the magistrate sends his men, they could arrive by night. Aaron pulled his cloak tight and left the ship with cautious steps. The streets were already busy. He kept his head down and moved through the crowd until he reached a workshop near the edge of the settlement. Sparks flew from inside as machines roared. Bex, Aaron called. From under a broken engine, a man rolled out. He was broad-shouldered, with grease on his hands and a smile that never seemed to leave his face. Aaron, Bex said, wiping his forehead. You look like trouble walking in daylight. What brings you here? Aaron stepped closer. I need help. I found someone outside the wreck field. She is not human. She is hunted. The magistrate wants her handed over, but I will not do it. Bex raised his eyebrows. So the rumors are true. You really brought a starborn into your ship. She is not dangerous, Aaron said firmly. She is scared and wounded. But hunters are after her, and the magistrate will sell her if he can. I need a way to hide her. Bex rubbed his chin. That is heavy trouble. But you once saved me from a debt I could not pay. I owe you more than one favor. Maybe I can help. I have a field generator I was building for smugglers. Not perfect, but strong enough to shield a small ship from local scans. If I fit it on the dawn light, the magistrate will not track you when you leave. Aaron felt hope stir. How soon can you do it? By nightfall, Bex said. But you must pay me back with a story worth telling. And maybe a few credits if you live. Aaron clasped his arm. You will have both. When Aaron returned to the dawn light with Bex, Saru watched quietly as the mechanic began to work. She sat beside Hana, whispering softly. He trusts easily, Saru said, pointing at Aaron. Yes, Hana replied. It is his strength and his weakness. Saru lowered her eyes. In my world, trust is not given. It is tested by touch. Yet he gave it freely to me. Do not mistake it for foolishness, Hana said. Aaron sees people in ways others do not. He has always been like that. Evening shadow stretched long as Bex finished setting the generator into place. He wiped sweat from his brow. It will work, but do not push it too far. If a big warship scans you, the field will not hold. Against local patrols and hunters, you will vanish. Aaron thanked him. As they shared a quick meal, a knock sounded at the ship's outer door. Aaron froze. Hana moved quietly to the side. Saru pulled her hood lower. Aaron opened the door slightly. Outside stood two enforcers in dark coats, the insignia of the magistrate on their shoulders. Pilot, one said, the magistrate requests your presence. He says you hold property that does not belong to you. Aaron's jaw tightened. I hold no property of his. Tell him I will not attend. The enforcer stepped forward, eyes narrowing. Be careful. The law bends only so far. If you defy it, you may find yourself crushed beneath it. Aaron shut the door firmly. He turned to the others. They will come back and not alone. Bex looked uneasy. I should not stay. If they catch me here, I will be marked too. But you have my word, the generator is yours. Use it before it is too late. He gave Aaron a nod and slipped out through the rear hatch. Night fell heavy over the settlement. The streets grew quiet, but tension filled the air. From the window, Aaron saw shadows moving. Enforcers gathered with others, men who were not official guards but looked ready to fight for coin. They mean to take her tonight, Hana whispered. Aaron nodded. Then we must be ready. Inside the ship, Saru stood tall for the first time since Aaron found her. Her hood fell back and her glowing skin lit the cabin faintly. I will not let you suffer for me, she said. If they come, I will face them. My kind can defend ourselves. Aaron stepped closer. No, if you strike them, it will prove their fear. They will say you are a monster. We must outwit them, not fight with blood. Saru's voice grew sharper. You risk all for me. Why do you believe so strongly? Because it is right, Aaron said simply. That is enough. Moments later, the outer doors rattled with heavy blows. Voices shouted, Open in the name of the magistrate. Aaron moved quickly. He guided Saru and Hana toward the cargo bay. Stay low, he whispered. He pressed a hidden switch Bex had added. The field generator hummed to life. The doors burst open and armed men poured inside. Enforcers led the way, faces hard and cold. Behind them, a man in fine robes stepped forward. The magistrate himself, pilot, he said, his voice smooth. You have tested my patience. Bring the alien out. Do so, and you may walk free. Aaron stood his ground. She is not yours to claim. The magistrate's eyes narrowed. You think yourself noble, but you endanger us all. That creature carries secrets that draw hunters to our world. I cannot allow it. Then you serve fear, not justice, Aaron replied. At his signal, the enforcers advanced. Aaron triggered the emergency lights, flooding the hall with blinding glare. Confusion broke out. He led Saru and Hana through the side hatch to the bay, rushing them toward the ship's controls. The enforcers shouted and fired shots, but the Dawnlight's shields rose in time. The ship roared to life. Aaron gripped the controls as the vessel lifted from the ground. Hold on, he shouted. Outside, the enforcers scattered as dust and fire filled the air. The Dawnlight surged upward, disappearing into the night sky. In the cabin, Saru sat breathing hard, eyes wide with fear and wonder. Hana steadied herself against the wall. Aaron kept his eyes on the stars. We are not safe yet. The hunters will hear of this. But at least we are free of the magistrate. Saru touched his arm gently. The glow returned, brighter than before. You did not betray me even when it cost you everything. Your people are strange, Aaron. Strange, but strong. I will not forget this, Aaron gave a tired smile. Then we move forward together. The stars stretched before them, endless and dark. The Dawnlight carried 3 souls into uncertain space, bound now by choice and trust. The Dawnlight moved fast through the dark sky, leaving the settlement far behind. The engines hummed as Aaron steered the ship above the desert, away from patrol routes. Inside the cabin, Hana checked the systems while Saru sat by the window, her glowing eyes fixed on the stars. For a few moments, silence filled the ship. But peace did not last. The warning alarm flashed red. A signal blinked on the screen. 3 ships followed them. Aaron clenched his jaw. The hunters have found us. Hana looked at the scanner. Small crafts, fast and armed. They will catch us before we leave the atmosphere. Saru's hands gripped the seat. They will not stop. They want what I carry, even if it means burning this world. Aaron thought quickly. Then we must lose them before they lock weapons. He turned the ship sharply, diving low into the canyons below. The Dawnlight roared between rocky cliffs as dust rose around them. The hunters followed, beams of light cutting across the night. Rocks exploded where shots struck. The ship rattled, alarms crying out, but Aaron's hand stayed steady on the controls. Hold on, he shouted. We are not giving them an easy prize. The chase tore through twisting passages. Aaron used every curve of the canyon to break their aim. Hana managed the shields, rerouting power from non-essential systems. Saru watched with wide eyes, her breath quick. You guide this machine as if it is alive, Saru whispered. Aaron did not look back. It is not alive. But it is my friend. One hunter ship moved too close. Aaron pulled the Dawnlight upwards suddenly, forcing the pursuer to slam into a cliff wall. The explosion shook the canyon. That is 1 down, Hana said, her voice tight, but 2 still followed. They fired again and the Dawnlight shook under the impact. Sparks flew from the panels, shields dropping, Hana warned. Saru rose from her seat. Her skin glowed brighter, her markings alive with light. She placed her hand on the control panel. The glow spread through the wires, steadying the system. What are you doing? Aaron asked. I lend you strength, Saru replied. Your machine answers my touch. Together we may last longer. Energy surged back into the shields. The Dawnlight steadied, holding against another blast. Aaron used the chance to pull into a narrow side canyon. The hunters followed, but the path grew tight. We cannot outfly them forever, Hana said. Then we find a way to outthink them, Aaron replied. He remembered an old mining site ahead, where storm vents often blew fire and dust from the ground. If they timed it right, they could trap the hunters. As they neared the site, the ground shook. Great vents opened, blasting columns of flame and dust into the air. Aaron guided the ship carefully between them. One hunter craft was not so lucky. A vent burst beneath it, tearing the ship apart. Only one left, Aaron said. The last hunter stayed back, learning from the fate of the others. It kept its distance, firing carefully from behind. Aaron gritted his teeth. We must finish this. Saru stepped forward again. Let me try. She touched Aaron's arm and the glow between them spread. Aaron felt her presence in his mind, calm yet fierce. He saw flashes of her memory, her people, her convoy, the relic they carried. He felt her strength flow into him. Together, pilot and alien moved as one. Aaron guided the ship with new precision, while Saru shaped the energy around them. The Dawnlight spun suddenly, turning its shield into a mirror. The hunter's beam struck and bounced back, tearing into its own hull. The last ship fell in flames. Silence returned, broken only by the hum of the engines. Hana let out a long breath. We survived. Aaron slowed the ship, guiding it out of the canyon. Above them, the stars stretched wide and clear. For the moment, they were free. But Saru's glow dimmed. She fell back into her seat, breathing heavily. I gave too much, she whispered. Aaron knelt by her side. You saved us. She looked at him with tired eyes. I only returned what you gave first. Aaron helped her rest, covering her with the cloak again. He returned to the controls, setting course away from the settlement. Yet safety was still far. On the comm screen, a new message blinked. It was not from the hunters, but from the syndicate itself. A masked figure spoke with cold voice. Human pilot, you carry what is ours. Hand over the alien and you may live. Refuse and we will burn every place you touch. Choose wisely. The screen went dark. Hana looked at Aaron. They will not stop. This is bigger than we thought. Aaron nodded. Then we must show the truth. If Saru carries proof of their crimes, we cannot hide forever. We must take it to the Free Council. Saru stirred at his words. The council may listen. The relic we carried was stolen by the syndicate. It holds the history of my people, proof of what was taken. If they are exposed, many worlds will rise against them. Then that is our path, Aaron said firmly. Not hiding, but fighting in the open. The journey ahead was long. They repaired what they could of the ship during the night. Aaron and Hana worked on the panels while Saru rested. The bond between them grew stronger. They no longer saw her as only a stranger. She was part of their crew now. The next day, as they neared the outer edge of the system, more trouble appeared. A corporate retrieval unit blocked their path. It was larger than the hunters' ships with heavy weapons and armored hull. They mean to stop us here, Hana said. Aaron narrowed his eyes. Then we outsmart them. He guided the dawnlight toward the clouds of a storm forming on the planet's horizon. Lightning flashed inside the storm, wild and dangerous. You cannot fly through that, Hana warned. Aaron gave a quick smile. I do not plan to fly through. I plan to use it. He steered close to the storm edge. The retrieval unit followed, weapons locked. Aaron cut power suddenly, letting the dawnlight drift. The enemy ship fired, but the lightning storm caught the blast and sent it back in a burst of wild energy. The retrieval ship shook, systems overloaded. Aaron reignited the engines, pulling away fast while the larger ship struggled. When they finally reached clear space, Saru stood beside him. She placed her hand on his shoulder. Your people's strength is not power. It is the will to risk everything for what is right. That is why we may succeed. Aaron looked at her and gave a firm nod. And your strength is not in fear, but in trust. Together we have a chance. The dawnlight sped onward, leaving the dangers behind. Yet all three knew the fight was not over. The syndicate would return stronger. The final test still waited. For now, though, they had survived the storm and the hunters. The bond between human and alien grew unbreakable. What began with a hiss and a warning now stood as a partnership that might change the stars. The dawnlight cut through the outer reaches of the system, stars streaking past as if racing to meet the future. Aaron sat at the controls, steady and alert, while Hana worked to keep the ship in top condition after the storm and chase. Saru rested nearby, wrapped in a soft blanket. Her glow was faint now, but her eyes shone with determination. This council, Saru said quietly, it will judge what humans have not yet seen. They will see the truth of the relic and the deeds of the syndicate. If we fail, my people's history will remain stolen. If we succeed, justice will touch many worlds. Aaron nodded. Then we do not fail. You are not alone, Saru. We face them together. The journey ahead was long. Days passed in the quiet hum of the engines. Aaron and Hana took shifts to rest and eat, while Saru learned more about human ways. She marveled at small things, the way humans laughed, how they shared meals, and how they found comfort in conversation. One morning, as the suns of a nearby star rose over a distant planet, Saru rose from her bunk. I want to see more, she said. I have never flown among the stars like this. On my world, we only travel by ground or ritual portals. The vast sky is frightening and beautiful. Hana smiled. It takes time to get used to. Humans see fear as a guide, not a barrier. You are learning fast. Saru touched Aaron's arm lightly. The faint glow returned. Your kind is strange, human. You do not wield power to dominate. You offer choice even to strangers. That is why I trust you. Aaron gave her a small smile. Trust is earned by deeds, not words. You have earned mine too. As the dawnlight approached the designated system for the Free Council, communications came alive. Council ships of various species patrolled the area, each unique in design. Some had sleek curves, others jagged edges like spires of stone. Flags waved in zero gravity, glowing symbols representing planets and civilizations united under the Council. "This is it," Hana said. "The place where truth and law meet. The Syndicate will not easily hide." Aaron guided the ship through the checkpoint, identifying themselves clearly. A council officer boarded the Dawnlight in a small transport pod. He was a tall being, with gray skin and eyes that reflected light like mirrors. "Pilot Aaron, you carry a dangerous passenger," the officer said. "We must inspect your vessel." Aaron nodded. "I understand. She is not dangerous. She carries proof of a crime. Her people were wronged." The officer studied Saru for a moment, then nodded. "Then we will hear this proof." Inside the council chambers, a large circular room glimmered with holographic symbols. Representatives from hundreds of systems filled the seats. Aaron guided Saru to the podium, ensuring she was steady. Her glow illuminated the floor, drawing all eyes toward her. "You may speak," Aaron said softly. Saru stepped forward. She placed her hands on the podium and began to tell the story. "I am Saru of the Virelia people. My convoy carried relics sacred to our history. The Syndicate attacked us and stole these artifacts. My people were scattered, accused falsely of betrayal. I survived to bring proof to this council. I ask for justice, not vengeance." The chamber was silent. Murmurs spread as the holographic images of the stolen relics appeared above her hands. Aaron watched as eyes widened and hands clenched. The evidence was clear. A representative of the Syndicate rose. His voice was smooth, cold. "This is unproven accusation. The relics are claimed under standard trade law. These beings were traitors. There is no proof beyond this alien's words." Saru's glow pulsed brighter. She touched the podium and sent a wave of images through the chamber. The attack on her convoy, the chaos of falling ships, and the faces of her captured people. The evidence could not be denied. One by one, council members whispered and examined the proofs. Their expressions changed from doubt to concern. The Syndicate representative faltered. These records are authentic. I cannot deny them." Aaron stepped beside Saru. "The human way is to protect the innocent, not follow fear. We refuse to allow theft and cruelty to stand. We bring the truth and we expect the council to act." Saru looked at Aaron, then at the council. "Your kind's willingness to act without fear, to risk all for what is right, has given me hope. I have seen humans who choose justice over ease. That is why I stand here not alone, but with those who prove that choices matter." The council conferred. Decisions were made. Representatives from multiple systems declared the Syndicate's actions illegal. They ordered the recovery of stolen relics and the release of any captive Virelia. Sanctions were set against the Syndicate, and fleets prepared to enforce them if necessary. Saru turned to Aaron and Hana. Her glow softened, warm and bright. "You have shown me the strength of your people. You risked your lives for one alien. That is a story my people will remember forever." Aaron smiled. "We only did what was right. You survived, and that is enough." Hana placed a hand on Saru's shoulder. "The council may act, but your trust in humans matters more than any law. You saw our choice. That is what will last." Outside, fleets moved under the council's orders. Hunters who once pursued Saru were captured or repelled. The Syndicate's influence diminished. Across the stars, news of the truth spread quickly. Aaron, Hana, and Saru returned to the Dawnlight. They prepared to continue their journey, knowing the universe had changed. Saru stood at the ship's deck looking at the distant stars. "I have learned much," she said. "I have learned that fear does not rule all. That courage and trust create bonds stronger than fear or power. I will carry this lesson to my people," Aaron joined her, "and we will face whatever comes next together. We are stronger with trust and unity." She smiled fully now, a gentle expression that shone brighter than any glow. "Then let us move forward, not as hunted or hunter, but as friends, as allies." The Dawnlight lifted into the infinite sky, carrying them onward. Systems passed beneath like lights on a dark map. Aaron felt the weight of their journey, yet it was lighter than before. Hope had grown in the hearts of those three souls. Saru touched his arm lightly. "I will remember this day, not for the battles, but for the choice you made. That choice changed everything." Aaron looked at her, eyes firm with quiet pride. Then we keep choosing right, no matter what comes next. As the ship traveled through the stars, they spoke of home worlds, of people they had lost and saved, and of the future they would build. Saru taught Aaron and Hana about her culture, her memories of the lost convoy, and the importance of the relics. Aaron shared stories of human courage, of resilience in the face of impossible odds. The journey would not end with a single council or battle. There would be more trials ahead, more dangers, and choices that tested loyalty and trust. But one truth remained clear. The bond forged in the desert in the face of danger and fear had survived. It would guide them forward. Saru looked out the viewport one last time before resting. "The stars are wide," she whispered. "But now I do not feel lost. I feel as if I belong, even far from home." Hana nodded. "You belong with those who choose to do right." "That is the human way," Aaron smiled. "And the Veralia way now includes trust across worlds. We begin together." The dawnlight continued, a small ship against the vast universe, yet carrying hope, trust, and the power of choice. The galaxy remembered the day humans chose courage over fear, kindness over selfishness, and friendship over isolation. Saru's story, and their story together, became a symbol, a reminder that one act of trust, one choice to protect a stranger, could ripple across stars. Humanity had reached beyond themselves, not with weapons or conquest, but with empathy, courage, and the willingness to touch the life of another being. As stars stretched endlessly ahead, the three companions knew that the future was theirs to face together. A human pilot, a gifted medic, and an alien survivor would chart their own path, leaving a legacy of trust, honor, and hope wherever the dawnlight flew.